What's happening, Electro Drive News fam? Get ready for a rapid-fire download of the hottest stories shaping our world. The news cycle is spinning faster than ever, and if you're not plugged in, you're missing out. We've got unbelievable tales of tech gone wild, major shifts in the automotive landscape, and innovations that are pushing boundaries. Stick around, because you won't want to miss a single second of this high-octane update. First up, has technology gone too far when a car gets ticketed for a problem it literally cannot have? Then, we're diving into some surprising production changes that could impact the future of luxury electric vehicles. We'll also break down the deals you need to know about before a major deadline hits. And finally, a tech giant is making a bold move that could change how we power up. It's all here, all now, and all for you. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. You've got to be kidding me. Imagine being pulled over by law enforcement, not for speeding or reckless driving, but for having an exhaust system that's too loud. Now, imagine that same scenario happening when your vehicle doesn't even have an exhaust system. That's precisely the bizarre situation one owner of a brand new electric Dodge Charger found himself in, as reported by The Drive. This isn't just a minor misunderstanding. It's a head-scratcher that highlights the sometimes surreal intersection of evolving automotive technology and established regulations. The incident unfolded in Stillwater, Minnesota, where the owner, identified only as Mike, was part of a group of vehicles. According to his account, the lead car in the group accelerated rapidly from a traffic light, creating a significant noise. Mike, caught behind this initial burst of sound, found himself stopped at the now red light. It was at this moment that a state trooper, seemingly alerted by the commotion, turned around and began to pursue Mike's vehicle. Once the light turned green, Mike was pulled over. The trooper's initial assessment was startling. Mike's car, he claimed, had an excessively loud exhaust that was disturbing the peace. Mike's immediate response was to inform the officer that his vehicle was a fully electric Dodge Charger and therefore possessed no engine or exhaust system. However, the trooper reportedly dismissed his explanation, stating he wasn't going to argue the point and proceeded to issue citations. The tickets issued were for a loud muffler, a missing front license plate, and a general public nuisance offense. While the citation for the missing front license plate is understandable, as the car visibly lacked one, the loud muffler claim is where things get truly perplexing. The electric Dodge Charger Daytona simply does not come equipped with a muffler or any traditional internal combustion engine components that would produce exhaust noise. A video shared on social media captured Mike's attempts to explain the situation to the officer, who appeared unconvinced. The report speculates that the vehicle's advertised Fratsonic chambered exhaust system, which uses external speakers to simulate engine sounds, might have been the source of the confusion. This system can indeed generate significant noise, reaching up to 126 decibels, comparable to a Hellcat's exhaust. However, even this artificial sound would typically be regulated differently than a mechanical exhaust. Legally, citing an EV for a violation specifically pertaining to a vehicle's muffler and exhaust system, when no such component exists, presents a significant challenge. It raises questions about how existing traffic laws apply to new electric vehicle technologies, and whether officers are adequately trained to distinguish between simulated sounds and actual mechanical noise violations. This incident serves as a stark reminder that as automotive technology advances, the legal and regulatory frameworks must keep pace to avoid such seemingly impossible citations. This peculiar ticketing incident has sparked considerable online discussion, with many users sharing their own experiences with ticketing for perceived vehicle violations. Analysts suggest this highlights a growing need for updated traffic codes that specifically address the unique characteristics of electric vehicles and their sound-generating systems. But this isn't the only surprising development in the EV world this week. Next, we're looking at major shifts in production for a luxury electric brand that could signal a broader trend. Major production shifts are happening. In a significant move that could reshape the landscape of luxury electric vehicle availability, General Motors is reportedly set to halt production of two of its key Cadillac EV models in December. According to a report from Reuters, Citing internal communications and sources familiar with the matter, the automaker will pause manufacturing for the Cadillac Lyriq and the larger, fully electric Cadillac Vistic at its Spring Hill, Tennessee facility. This decision comes as state incentives for EV purchases are nearing expiration, prompting a strategic recalibration of GM's production priorities. The production halt will impact both the midsize Cadillac Lyriq, which has been one of GM's more successful EV offerings, and the Vistic, a more recently introduced electric SUV. Furthermore, GM plans to scale back output for the first 5 months of next year by temporarily cutting one of the 2 worker shifts at the Spring Hill plant. This move signals a clear pivot, with GM seemingly shifting its focus back towards gasoline-powered models as demand for EVs experiences a noticeable slowdown, or at least a less robust growth than initially projected. The company's decision also comes with broader implications for its EV manufacturing capabilities. The report also indicates that the planned addition of a second shift at the Kansas City assembly plant, intended for the Chevrolet Bolt EV, has been indefinitely delayed. Production of the Bolt EV itself was previously moved from the Orion plant, which had seen its own production schedules postponed multiple times. In a notable shift, the Orion plant is now slated to produce internal combustion engine, ICE, vehicles instead of EVs, a decision announced earlier this year. This move is part of a larger $4 billion investment across 3 facilities, including Fairfax in Kansas and Spring Hill in Tennessee, dedicated to expanding ICE vehicle production. Despite these production adjustments, GM leadership maintains a commitment to the long-term vision of electric mobility. CEO Mary Barra reiterated in the company's second quarter earnings call that, despite slower electric vehicle industry growth, we believe the long-term future is profitable electric vehicle production, and this continues to be our North Star. She emphasized that the company is adapting to changing demand and is well-positioned to succeed in an ICE market that now has a longer runway. However, recent financial disclosures reveal that Barra herself has significantly reduced her holdings in the company, selling over 994,000 shares in late August for approximately $57.93 million. While GM stock has seen a positive surge in recent months, these production decisions and executive stock sales paint a complex picture of the company's current strategy and its outlook on the immediate future of the EV market. The industry is watching closely to see how these shifts will affect GM's competitive position and its ability to meet future EV demand. This strategic pivot by a major automaker is raising eyebrows across the industry, prompting questions about the immediate future of EV production scaling. But if you're looking to buy an EV right now, there's a different kind of urgency you need to be aware of. Up next, we're breaking down the massive EV deals that are about to disappear and what it means for buyers. Last chance for massive savings. For anyone dreaming of making the switch to an electric vehicle, the time to act is now. The automotive world is currently experiencing what can only be described as an EV fire sale, with manufacturers aggressively clearing out inventory. This surge in deals and discounts is directly tied to the impending expiration of the federal EV tax credit on September 30th. For consumers, this presents an unparalleled opportunity, but it also creates a ticking clock for potential buyers eager to capitalize on significant savings before the incentive vanishes. The impact of this deadline is palpable. Automakers are reporting record-breaking sales figures for August, a testament to the effectiveness of both the tax credit and the ensuing promotional offers. Brands are moving EVs at a pace not seen before, driven by a potent mix of consumer interest and a healthy dose of FOMO, the fear of missing out on substantial financial benefits. General Motors, for instance, announced its best-ever month for EV sales in August, with over 21,000 units delivered. Ford saw its Mustang Mach-E sales jump 35% to 7,226 vehicles, while Hyundai reported a 61% surge in Ioniq 5 deliveries, reaching 7,773 units. These numbers strongly suggest that the third quarter will be exceptionally strong for EV sales, largely fueled by this pre-deadline rush. However, this buying frenzy comes with a significant caveat. As the federal tax credit disappears, so too will the deeply attractive discounts that automakers have been offering. Duncan Aldred, president of General Motors North America, has publicly acknowledged that the current market conditions, characterized by what he termed irrational discounts, are unsustainable. He anticipates a notable slowdown in EV sales following the September 30th deadline, predicting that the market will take several months to normalize. GM's strategy, as outlined by Aldred, involves carefully managing production to avoid oversupply and maintain profitability, rather than relying on deep discounts to move units. This means that consumers hoping for similar savings after the deadline will likely be disappointed. Furthermore, the expiration of the tax credit and the subsequent market normalization could disproportionately affect manufacturers that heavily relied on these incentives to drive sales. It raises concerns about the immediate future of EV adoption rates in the US, potentially leading to a smaller EV market for a period. While GM believes it can continue to grow its EV market share by focusing on strong product offerings like its Cadillac EVs, Chevrolet Equinox EV, and upcoming Bolt, the broader industry may face a challenging few quarters. This situation also brings into focus the effectiveness of government incentives in spurring sustainable market growth, as the surge in sales appears to be driven more by the incentive's expiration than by organic demand alone. For now, the message is clear. If you're considering an EV, the next few weeks are your window to secure the best possible deals before they vanish. In related news, Tesla's autonomous driving technology is also facing new scrutiny and regulatory adjustments. Speaking of autonomous tech, a recent change in Texas might signal a broader shift in how these vehicles are deployed. We'll delve into what this means for the future of self-driving cars. A new era for autonomous vehicles. In a subtle yet significant development, Tesla has reportedly reinstated safety drivers in the driver's seat of its robotaxi fleet operating in Texas. This move, observed by users and highlighted in reports, represents a notable shift in the deployment of autonomous vehicle technology and may indicate a more cautious approach to self-driving systems in the US market. Previously, Tesla had placed its safety monitors in the passenger seat, requiring them to intervene by grabbing the steering wheel if the autonomous system encountered difficulties. Placing a driver back behind the wheel, however, changes the perception and potentially the operational reality of the service. This adjustment by Tesla is seen as a dual-edged sword. On one hand, it could be interpreted as a step back for the technology, suggesting that the autonomous system is not yet robust enough to operate entirely without direct human supervision in the traditional driving position. This might negatively impact the optics of Tesla's self-driving capabilities, making it appear less advanced than competitors who have already transitioned to fully driverless operations. On the other hand, this move could be a proactive measure to comply with evolving regulatory landscapes and demonstrate an abundance of caution. It aligns Tesla's operations in Texas with stricter requirements seen in other states, such as California, ensuring consistency and adherence to new legal frameworks. The timing of this change is particularly noteworthy, coinciding with the implementation of Texas Senate Bill 2807, which came into effect on September 1st. This new legislation introduces more stringent oversight for the deployment of automated driving systems. Unlike previous, more permissive laws, SB 2807 mandates stricter safety data reporting, requires interaction plans for first responders, and allows for the revocation of operating authorization if safety standards are not met. Companies must now prove their systems can achieve a minimal risk condition in case of failure and meet SAE Level 4 or 5 autonomy standards. The critical implication here, as pointed out by industry observers, is that if Tesla has placed a driver in the front seat to comply with Texas law, it suggests their robotaxi software might be operating closer to SAE Level 2 autonomy, a classification Tesla itself has previously associated with its full self-driving beta feature. This contrasts with industry leaders like Waymo, which began piloting driverless rides in 2017 and removed safety drivers from most of its fleet by 2020. Tesla's head of autopilot and AI software, Ashok Ellaswamy, even acknowledged earlier this year that Tesla's software was still lagging behind Waymo by a couple of years. The decision to place safety drivers back in control in Texas raises questions about Tesla's timeline for achieving true Level 4 or 5 autonomy and its ability to navigate the increasingly complex regulatory environment surrounding autonomous vehicles. It signals a growing trend towards more rigorous testing and validation, potentially slowing down the widespread adoption and deployment of fully driverless services across the industry. This development underscores the evolving and often complex relationship between cutting-edge technology and the regulatory bodies tasked with ensuring public safety. And speaking of adapting to new technologies, one company is looking to the future of digital transactions in the EV space. Stay tuned as we explore how cryptocurrency might soon be powering up your EV. All right, everyone, that's a wrap on today's electrifying news. We saw a wild case of a ticket for a non-existent exhaust on an EV, GM making big production shifts for Cadillac EVs, the race against the clock for EV tax credits ending, and Blink charging integrating crypto payments. Don't miss out on future updates. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this rundown, subscribe to ElectroDrive News for your daily dose of automotive innovation, and ring that notification bell so you're always in the loop. And hey, let us know in the comments which story had you buzzing. Follow us on social media for even more content.